I personally think 80% we have a solid people. We're gonna hold us 20% accountable. I bet you that 50% of that 10% will change. And then we would have to replace only the last 10. And then you know the hardest part after we fix it is to maintain it. When was the last time you guys told any drivers, I need you to write me a one-page report of what the happened yesterday? And it needs to be in my inbox by tomorrow 9 p.m. the latest. But they do it to us. When we have to write an LOA, how we're gonna course correct it, we have to sign it, right? We have to sign it. If it's not signed, it's just a letter, it's just an email, it doesn't count. Then there's an OTC. So we already know we're at jeopardy, then we might lose the business. How hard is it to replace us? We're not gonna give them our trucks. We're probably not gonna give them our people. And they still instill in us, hey, just so you know, LOA, then OTC, there's a chance you might lose it, right? But the driver is much easier to replace than a contractor with managers, with the trucks, fuel cards, employees, scanners, vetters, and we don't do that to them.
When I've always been afraid of doing is when it's a driver, I'm afraid of losing. And I'm always afraid that they won't, that they'll walk out or they'll do something. But they don't care. FedEx doesn't care, and we're much harder to replace.
But I bet you they're scared to lose you than you, the driver, but they still gonna play the cards. They haven't taken a lot of people's routes. They haven't. The lawsuits there, how do you replace it? They know they're gonna be 2-3 months in. I don't care how good the contractor is, they don't know this. They might not pull the trigger, but they're gonna point a gun. But we're scared to even show the driver a piece. We have to do it. We just have to learn how FedEx is doing. How are they changing our behavior? How they went from never taking a picture to now like we have 90% PPOD, good quality pictures. And like he said, at night we already know. Tomorrow we're gonna be getting chewed out for 30 minutes. And a driver, we won't even have the conversation. He's gonna come into the truck, toot, 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 toot. He's gonna load it. No one's gonna come so, hey, what's up, man? You good? You need an extra battery? No one's gonna mention, bro, you brought 18 packages, batch scan them yesterday at the end. We told you 100 times, you still did it. You're like, dude, this is just a bad apple. We have a very long way to go, but the good news is that I personally think 80% we have a solid people. We're gonna hold us 20% accountable. I bet you that 50% of that 10% will change. And then we would have to replace only the last 10. So out of 10 people, we would have to replace one. But we have to bash 2 people. One is gonna realize I still need this job. It's actually a pretty good job. And they're gonna change. The other one is gonna be that problem child. But we have to take the initiative. And then the hardest part after we fix it is to maintain it. That's the hard part. That's already 80% manager mentality, 20% driver mentality. Right now we're 20% manager mentality, 80% driver mentality. That's the issue. I had a hard conversation. Remember in KOP? When I told you guys, like, I'm gonna tell you guys something, it might be mean, but you guys are great drivers, but bad managers. Because when in May, you guys were doing 3 routes each, working till 11 p.m. But now we have all the drivers and you guys not holding them accountable. And then you're gonna revert back to being a driver because when it was time to manage it, you guys were not doing it. When it was time to manage it, you were not doing it. Is it fair to say that we have enough drivers right now? So now we need you really to kick in as a manager. We really need you to kick in as a fleet manager. We really need you to kick in as a senior manager. And the senior manager is a little bit more trickier because you're not managing the drivers, you're managing the managers. So it's another layer, and that's a tough one. It's a tough one, I'm not gonna lie. But if you are holding a senior manager position, we believe in you that you can do it.